Pipedream on the Comedypipe Radio Network. Please stay tuned.
Dig down.
For the potentially most interactive comedy radio show on the planet, where we let you get down and Joe runs crazy and we don't know what he's looking for, and it's kind of weird. My friends call me 3D. Welcome to the show. Please join us. Interact with us. Skype, Comedypipe, Twitter, Comedypipe. Watch us live on comedypipe.com. YouTube feed is going. Joe, what the fuck are you looking for?
My soda.
How did you lose your soda in the last, 20 seconds?
I don't know.
Joe Green, folks. Welcome to the show. Losing his soda.
Joey Two Sodas.
Joey Two Sodas. Little Joey Two Buckets. Quality guy right there. Little Joey Two Buckets. Jefferson, for the first time, has not fulfilled the Jefferson. He is not here, and I did not turn my phone off, and that better not be him telling me he's not going to be here. Because he's off watching baby porn.
It's not what you think.
That's horrible.
He just may happen to
No,
see
it's
a
like
naked
food
baby.
porn. It's not. There's a newborn, and they're all going to go stare at it.
Yeah. That's
Before it's
baby porn. I'm just going to gawk at it. He won't pick it up. He won't touch it.
I don't know what these things mean.
He's going to go look at a newborn baby.
Great.
Like hours old. How often do you get to see that?
They're so interesting.
I'm
at that
kind of
age.
jealous.
I'm
Not into seeing a newborn?
I mean, yeah, sure. They're cute.
Okay.
Little Cabbage Patch Kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All the boys have gigantic balls. I didn't know that. It's a fact. My kid was born. I'm like, holy shit, his crank is huge.
Whoa.
And then it, for whatever reason, calms down, and it may be that size at some point again. But damn, it was watermelon coming out of baby's legs.
He grew into it fast.
Yeah, he did. He definitely did.
It's a weird conversation to have in a basement.
Yeah. We're trying to make this as creepy as possible.
With a model roller coaster in the background.
I'm not really sure how to get out of here.
Yep. Please welcome to the show, the one, the only. Oh, we love him. He's your friend. He's our friend. Woo! Mr. Rich Williams, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. So nice to be here.
Yeah.
So yeah, awkward conversations do occur quite frequently in the studio.
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect when I started seeing the photos pop up on Facebook.
Yeah.
They are hilarious.
I will let the art department know that greatly.
I don't want anybody to think I'm fat like Ron Jeremy does. So I was trying to put disclaimers. Ron, if you're listening, Ron's a friend of mine. I did a movie with my buddy, a spoof of being
Ron
John,
Jeremy.
Yeah, a spoof of being John Malkovich. And so I became friends with Ron. We used to do stand-up together. It was ridiculous.
Ron doing stand-up. How awkward is that? Is it all porn?
It's all like vaudevillian jokes and stuff like that.
How big is it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
knock, knock. My God.
Yeah, like he's just coming at like one-liners.
No, he literally would bring a little box on stage and he'd say, "Hey, anybody want to see my cock?" and pull out a stuffed rooster, like that type of joke.
That's very punny.
Yeah, exactly. So
That's
maybe
don't
Ron
quit Jeremy is clever and punny.
Don't quit your day job, which is fucking Runaways.
Runaways. Oh my God, they go missing so easy.
So throughout the last, 20 minutes or so prior to the show, we did have a chance to talk. And once you got here, you realized where you were. And it comes to, we are in an extremely small world. And you used to live like a half a block away.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Same high school at some points.
Yeah, to grow up around here.
Martell's hobby shop.
To go out.
That's exactly kind of where I'm going with this. And it was supposed to pop up on that screen, and it didn't. So, yeah.
To leave here so long ago, in 99 is when I officially moved, but I was on the road like 96 through 99. And then to move back to my hometown and now do a podcast a block away from where I lived.
Welcome home.
It's unbelievable to me. Like my mind is a little bit off right now, just trying to soak it all in.
Yeah, the picture we have on the screen here, when was found by the research team on your Facebook page, was blown away because not only did I actually shop at that hobby
Really?
shop,
I got my
my
first.
father shopped at that hobby shop before I was even born.
Yeah, I took that picture. It was I was dying because it said "by
Yeah,
owner,"
yeah, it was definitely.
and it's on a one-way street. That's why you had to move.
I used to get all my RC car stuff.
Yeah,
I did.
Mardell's Hobby Shop,
Yeah,
and that's
Mardell.
not even written on the sign anywhere, and you knew exactly where it was.
Mr. Mardell.
Yeah, absolutely.
He would say, I sell the radio control cars, pay the rent. I'm more into dollhouses.
Yeah,
Whoa.
yeah. He made money on dollhouses until he didn't make any more money on dollhouses, but
Little chairs and shit.
kind of ridiculous.
It's very
You
cute.
you would think that he would invest in a Y.
Well, he did go out of business for reasons.
Yeah.
You know? He, no matter what time you
I
would go
just-
there, he would be sitting there behind the counter and had like this 6-inch by 6-inch black and white TV for the longest time, and that's what he watched TV on. And he just sat there all day, and I don't think I was ever in there with anybody else, unless they came with me.
Yeah.
There was nobody was ever in there.
It was like one of those little TVs you saw on MASH.
Yeah, very. Yeah, so ignore the person in the stripes.
Is that the key to a successful marriage?
Yes, just ignore him while he's trying to do a podcast and she's trying to take pictures. That's the only time it's applicable. Hi, honey.
By owners. That's great.
Yeah, that's spinning around Jerry. Here we go. So you co-wrote the movie.
Yeah, with my friend Brian Burke. He had the idea. He said, why would anybody want to be John Malkovich? I want to be Ron Jeremy. And then I had done stand-up at the Porno Awards, and I knew Ron a little bit from that. And my friend Brian was trying to get a lookalike to play Ron Jeremy. I said, let's just hire Ron Jeremy.
He's probably available.
He was thrilled to do it, and Andy Dick was in it. We paid Andy Dick with 2 boxes. This is back in VHS tape days. We paid him in 2 boxes of porn, 1 box of straight porn, 1 box of gay porn with the labels ripped off so nobody would know.
Wow.
That's what he wanted.
Shocker.
For sale by owner.
Yeah. Wow. Andy Dick. Shocker.
Not surprising though.
He is married and he has multiple kids, which is even.
Oh yeah, well he's bi. I think he's
Yeah.
pretty open about it now.
Yeah.
But at the time it was very
Yeah.
hush hush.
Yeah,
And
back
this
in VHS
is-
days.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
It was. I mean, there was a. I mean, I guess not in showbiz.
Those
so
were the
much, but I
Reagan
mean,
years.
during that time, there was a big outreach of the gay and lesbian community, and it has stretched into modern day.
Yeah, this was porn.
But yeah, he got what kind of porn? Your good old buddy.
I
Ron
think it's
Jeremy.
very
What kind of
fitting.
porn do you think Ron Jeremy watches? Have you discussed that with him? I
Ooh.
mean, being Ron Jeremy, that is a question.
Yeah,
you
you think
may-
he watches his own sets? Like I could have done that different. That's where I got the laughs.
Well, he did this. He has this special talent where he counts down when he's going to finish, and he would do it right when he would hit 0. He's like, "All right, you ready?" And it was just, I don't know, it's bizarre. I watched him film once, and it took some of the magic out of it. Like they always say, never meet your heroes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It just seems so clinical
So I
and
should never meet Peter North.
no,
never.
it's
It ruins it for me just seeing it.
it's a
but-
very weird world. It's
Well, I'm
not.
just gonna listen back. Who's Peter North?
Yeah. I can't imagine actually working in porn or working at one of these porn places with the video. You get
Yeah,
desensitized after a while. I used to be able to look at the Sears catalog when I was a teenager.
High five. Yeah.
Now I've seen so much stuff. Every time I'm going to have sex with an Asian girl, I feel like my dick is going to be pixelated.
The Sears and JCPenney catalog were the best things that I had growing up because you had the toy section.
Yeah.
So when you were younger, you're like, yeah, as you grew up, lingerie section, the panty section, and the
Seriously?
pennies. If that's you didn't have anything else. That was
Wow.
some good stuff back in the day.
Oh, we had our imagination.
Yeah.
I used my
I had my
imagination.
ColecoVision
Right.
and
There was like
a
2
JCPenney
you could steal. You could find your dad's porn. He'll know you did it.
I totally
He
found
will-
my parents'
Yeah, he'll
porn.
totally know you were in there.
Yeah.
Or you have a brother. What's he gonna do? Tell on you? He took my weed. No, that doesn't happen. So
Yeah.
I had the luxury of having an older brother, but in that regard.
Yeah, see, I don't even watch porn anymore because I've become too desensitized, and I used to have one mindset about, I don't believe in monogamy. As my friend says, if humans were meant to be monogamous, they would be. But you can choose it. And so I was in a relationship where I chose it and I was like happy and fulfilled. And now it's like fucking ruined me for casual sex and porn and all that stuff. It's like, I don't know. It's weird. I have to get my mind right, I guess.
I don't like the spitting. The guys like going down on the girl, the girls going down on the guy, and just out of nowhere, they're like, they just and they.
Oh, yeah, that's disgusting.
Yeah, and I go,
that's
okay,
trashy.
Yeah, you lost it. You just took the puppy. Why would you do that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's so degrading. And believe me, I have nothing against porn. It's just, I often,
it's great.
I often talk about, like, if we just ate McDonald's all the time, we would know that that's bad for us. But if we're just pumping that stuff into our head, or the reality TV, which I used to work in that world, of course we're going to have drama and chaos in our life and all that stuff. So it's like, enough.
Yeah.
So then I read Buddhism books. And
so you believe media is changing people?
yeah, I mean, how can it not? If
Video games?
Yeah, but I don't think it's. I think people take that argument to the extreme where they're like, guns don't kill people,
No,
video games kill people.
Media,
I'm good.
Media
Right.
definitely has an influence. You look at Randolph Hearst back, and then there's like the Red Scare, and then you have something like War of the Worlds.
Mm-hmm.
All of that, it definitely has an influence on us, as a society. Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I love.
It's evolved, but it continues.
People don't read a paper newspaper anymore. They look on Facebook.
Yeah, they do. No, they don't. That people still actually.
Oh, you can get outrage in
Read
all
the paper.
all media. You can have paper, electronic.
But I'm
whatever,
saying,
word of
like,
mouth,
they
it's
don't
all-
even
Jeez.
they read like whatever's being pumped out, like on Facebook. They're not like reading opinion pieces in the New
The
York
older
Times Sunday
generation is still
magazine.
technology
it's
less when it
opinionated
comes to the
static.
newspaper.
They are, but it's shifted.
I go into Stewart's every
Dramatically.
day, and there's an old motherfucker there every day with his newspaper, and it kind of rotates depending on what time I get there, which old motherfucker's there, and they all have papers.
Yeah, but nowadays people they get all their news from what's trending.
Mhm.
And there's all this mock outrage, or everybody's turned into a fucking tattletale. Like, oh, did you see this person did this? It's like, there's real things to worry. Like, I understand distractions and stuff like that, but people are professionally outraged now at what things that fucking comics say. Or
Outrage is so boring.
Well, that's what I
It
was
is
talking
so
about, like
boring.
people looking at Twitter or Facebook and seeing the trends and not like going, to
Somebody
the
said
Daily
this about
Gazette
Caitlyn
Yeah.
Jenner.
at Stewart's and getting that. I mean,
what's
they're told what to think.
and they
more
just
and more, and people aren't thinking for themselves enough.
they just
and
buy
forming their
into
own
this
opinions.
stuff. Like, I always see this quote with Marilyn Monroe's picture: "If you can't handle me at my worst, you sure as hell don't deserve me at my best." The problem is she didn't say that. It was Hitler. No, I'm just kidding. Could you imagine? Could you, that quote changes meaning depending on who says it.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
people take these memes and all that stuff and they live their lives by it. Like, how many people right now across the US are having YOLO tattoos taken off of their
It's
bodies?
weird that you bring up Marilyn Monroe. My wife was watching TV. I went upstairs, and I don't know if it's a Lifetime movie, but there is a Marilyn Monroe show. And I watched maybe 20 minutes of it, and I wanted to punch that bitch right in the face, because I don't know if it was the actress, but I'm sure there was some level of research done on how one Marilyn Monroe was supposed to sound. And that sound made me wanted to punch her in the face. That breathy talk. Oh,
Why would
he
you
loves
wanna
me.
hit me in the
I'm like,
booty?
I'm like, that's how she really talked. Like in movies, fine, whatever. That's how this. No,
But she was apparently very intelligent.
out of her mind.
And
So was Helen Keller. but Couldn't
thoughtful.
listen to her either.
Oh,
She's-
come
She was
on.
completely out of her mind and delusional and a drug addict in the.
Well, we all have our shortcomings.
No, it was bad.
Yeah, people worship her. Young women idolize her, and she was primarily known for her beauty and acting. She had
Behind the scenes, not a great person.
Yeah, she had an affair with the sitting president, sang the
See,
most sexualized version of Happy Birthday to him in front of the man's wife
Yeah.
and died of an overdose. Like,
Yeah.
this is who our role model is.
The one thing that I learned in this show is a character in it. I can't remember her name because I wanted to forget the whole thing. But when Marilyn was trying to tell her how they were in love and, you know, they were going to have little Kennedy babies and it was going to be great, the woman was like, look, he's had 1,000 girls before you and he doesn't remember them. He's going to have 1,000 more after you and not remember them either. Move on with your life. And I'm like, that's impressive.
Yeah.
You know, that's, I mean, granted, even if she was exaggerating.
Oh, half loves me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if she was exaggerating, for them to put that number in the movie made that number way higher than you could even imagine it being.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So just having Marilyn in the midst of that, I'm like, yeah, he just wanted a piece of that ass. That good for him.
Yeah, it's so bizarre to look back on all that stuff.
That, and I think I literally only saw 20, 30 minutes at most.
Thankfully for him, they didn't have Twitter back then because everybody would have known.
Trending everywhere.
Oh,
That would have broken the internet.
Hashtag sexy happy birthday or
Yeah.
some shit like that. Yeah. Oh, it would've been awful.
Yeah, it would just be hashtag happy birthday because everyone would know what it was.
yeah.
It's so annoying. And I have to say, it's really annoying with the celebrity gossip and these people that are like the Kardashians.
Yeah.
I
Who are
can't
they?
take it. I can't take
Who's
it.
the Kardashian? I'm
Just-
sorry.
These
trying to
reality
get
sh-
It's Caitlyn Jenner now.
That trending.
That's it.
I mean, just this attention seeking and people just like, that's what they worship.
I think it's great. Caitlyn
That's-
Jenner has out Kardashian the Kardashians. The Kardashians are done. It's all Jenner now.
Yeah, well, all of that stuff, I look at it as I could just turn that off. Like, if it's sad to me that nobody appreciates authors anymore or whatever, but I can. You know, like my buddy Jerry said, you know, popular music just sucks today. It's so bad. I'm like, yeah, but you have all the music that was ever created prior to that. So go listen to that.
Oh.
You know, but
Some
yeah, I
things
don't.
in that there's nothing new, and I disagree. There's a lot of good music that's coming out.
Oh yeah, no,
it is. Yeah,
of
all about
course.
The bass, no treble. Oh,
Yeah,
so
yeah. It's my jam, dude. I mean, I bumped it in the car, and then when I stopped,
Yeah,
it's my jam.
but for me
That's the song I'm
personally,
gonna kill myself.
I have a whole list. Yeah, I just try to like feed my head different stuff.
You had mentioned Buddhism books.
Yeah, it's helping me get through this breakup. It helps me not be so upset because I was at Home Depot and this guy cut in front of me. I was trying to pay my bill and he saw me there. And the first thing that popped through my head was, how much time would I do if I grabbed a hammer and just hit him in the head? Like, that's how angry I get over stupid shit.
Wow.
And so I have to read that stuff to kind of put it all in perspective and not
I have to
smack
imagine
people.
your road rage is through the roof.
No, it used to be, but I lived in LA where a 20-minute drive around here with bad traffic is 2 hours.
Yeah.
And so I read the self-help book. They said, what you should do is imagine that the person who cut you off, what you don't see is his wife is pregnant laying down in the back seat and he's just trying to get her to the emergency room. And so if you can imagine that, not only would you not be mad at him, you would want to help him get to the emergency room.
Right.
So I do that and it helps, but it stopped working after a while. So I had to take it a step further.
I've gone through those motions going, there's got to be something wrong where he can't go that fast.
Right.
We're doing 5. I get it, but what the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm
And
trying to talk myself. Goose fraba is the term I use to talk myself off the ledge. But we'll get back to that.
well, it stopped working after a while. So what I had to take it a step further. Now I imagine that his pregnant wife is having my child and he doesn't know. And now he's got to raise this kid for the next 18
Oh
years.
my
Oh,
gosh,
yeah,
that's so
yeah.
dramatic.
21 years from now, I'll have a knock at my door and,
Hmm.
are you my daddy?
Yeah. Fuck. One look at him, spit an image of you, beard and all.
Yeah, but by then there might be cloning. You have to do like a test. I'll say, hey, do you like broccoli? And if he says yes, but I don't like it cooked or in anything, I like it raw or steamed, then I'll go, yes, son. We'll throw a ball or something. I don't have any kids, so I don't know what the fuck you do with them. But
You dip it in salad dressing, though.
then I do, yeah.
What kind?
I'm a blue cheese guy, but it's got to be ranch
Yeah.
because
Okay.
that's
Staple.
yeah,
guy.
yeah,
Staple
yeah,
guy.
yeah.
It says Caesar,
I'm with you on the blue cheese.
Caesar dressing. You're not my
but
fucking son.
There's not always blue cheese.
yeah. Get out of here, you imposter.
Bastard.
So I think it is about the time before we forget to bring up the one thing that you had mentioned to us to not forget. So I believe Teresa and I both wrote it down, except I wrote it down where you can read it.
Do you want me to do it?
Come
Teresa wrote
on.
it down
Do you want
where
me to
it's
do it?
ineligible.
Ineligible?
Illegible.
Like a black
In-
guy?
Not legible.
Not
What do you mean?
legible, yeah. It's the other ullable word.
My handwriting leaves a lot to be desired.
I've been saving this for
One of the-
Ineligible.
Oh. Sounds like a job for Squirt Girl.
Can Squirt Girl read? There you
What they call you, Squirt Girl?
go.
No. There's
Could
Clark
you-
Kent, and then there's Superman.
Or
There's
Kent.
Teresa, and then there's Squirt Girl.
Uh,
They're never in the same room. at the same
Jefferson and
time.
I prepared for him not being here to be able to just. That's the.
This is the
Well,
Chicago.
That's a very forceful queef.
Yeah, no, that's the Squirt Girl sound
Oh,
straight
that's-
from Jefferson's mouth.
That's apparently the sound my vagina makes when I'm squirting cum and coconut oil to fight crime.
Wow.
Yeah, my alter ego, it's Squirt Girl.
Like little kids in Harlem putting a Campbell's soup can on a fire hydrant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of. So,
Yeah, I'm like, you totally lost me. on
What do
that
you mean?
one.
Yeah, that didn't make sense.
Yeah,
No, you know how the fire hydrant, they let it go and
Yeah.
it sprays everywhere?
but what's the.
Oh, I get
That's
the image.
squirting, isn't it?
I got lost on the Campbell soup can.
You've never
It goes
seen them. They,
flying?
they hold the Campbell soup can. It's like cut out so that it directs the water.
Oh, yeah, no. That's a
little
good idea. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
They've been doing it since the 50s.
Yeah.
Play some stickball.
I'm playing, I was going to say the wall ball.
Yeah.
Handball.
Ball.
Yeah.
Honey.
Hand of balls. So,
So what was the thing that you wrote down?
Silence of the Lambs.
Oh yes.
Gosh,
So, yeah,
guys.
So the image, if
Group
y'all
effort.
didn't see it, I put our poor guest Rich's head on Buffalo Bill, and I'm gonna let Joe do the line. Feel free.
Would you fuck me? I'd fuck me. I'd fuck me so hard. I love that guy.
So there, but I fuck you.
You're a very big fat person.
That is one of my favorite movies, and I found out 2.5 years ago. I reconnected with one of my exes, and when she was in nursing school, she had a friend, and that friend, God, I always tell tangential stories with too much information. Her friend, when she was a teenager, lived in Ohio, and it was right around when that movie was coming out.
this was like the early 90s.
Yeah.
91 or something.
Yeah. So picture a 14-year-old girl. She has a little friend over, to play whatever, listen to music. The girl's father comes out with sandwiches and lemonade.
Sandwiches and lemonade.
Yeah. And says, y'all want some sandwiches, lemonade? Her father was the actor who played Buffalo Bill.
Oh my gosh.
Right when the movie was out, her friend flipped the fuck out and ran. Nobody ever came over again, according to the story. Like, could you imagine? You're a little kid, basically, and he walks out.
I would
so
go to that. See,
frightening.
I think the character. I love it. I would go there all the time. Just be, want to use the pool? You're like,
Yeah.
I love it.
I cut the crust off.
Oh my god, that was
I cut the crust off. I love it. Yeah, I would hang out there all the time.
oh my god.
Yeah.
Jelly. I'm trying to suck down a matzo ball.
Want a colada? Yeah.
How about a frappuccino? Oh wow, that's great.
Yeah.
So I can't do the voice at all.
That poor
Nice.
guy.
Wants a wiener.
The-
I'm outta here.
So how long? meet Howie?
Yeah, I wrote his Super Bowl special for 7 years.
Get to bang Terry.
Yes, Terry Bradshaw and I go way
Wrong
back
Terry,
in the
wrong Terry.
which Terry?
Fuck Terry Hatcher.
Oh no, no, that's a dated reference when they did the Radio Shack commercials.
Well, weren't they married?
Terry Hatcher? No.
They were never married.
No, he's been married to his wife for years.
Damn.
They-
Yeah, no,
they
there's something
actually-
in those Radio Shack commercials.
Yeah.
I'm like, they're banging. They gotta be banging.
You think TV is real?
I've been fooled for years.
Why haven't they why haven't they arrested the real Buffalo Bill? He lives in Ohio. He's giving sandwiches to children.
Oh, who's
That sounds really creepy, like Mr. Dingling.
All right,
Buffalo Bill
Yeah.
comes out.
He
wants
has a
him.
camera crew at his house. Why can't we find this?
All right, if we're gonna get creepy, let's get creepy. Okay, how did you let go?
Oh God.
How were you able to let go?
She is not we used to be friends and it was strictly friends, and she's part of the reason why I left LA.
Oh, geez,
Oh,
brutal.
It's really kind of fucked me over.
Oh.
We were roommates, and God bless her.
All right.
But
Closing that window.
yeah,
next.
Like, how did you let go? I mean, that's
no, never even a kiss. Not
oh,
nothing.
brutal. Nothing.
No.
Snuggle.
Just a sad clown
Oh.
trying to help her out.
Lonely boner.
This one here is probably one of the most alter
That's an awesome.
chameleon-like.
Awesome, Jack.
Going through all your pictures, you evolve, and it doesn't matter what year it is. It really doesn't. It's the time of the year apparently with you is what your look is like, and it's very diverse.
Well, last year, so I had shaved my head the year before in September. I let my hair grow out. I let my beard grow out because I used to be so worried about what people thought of me. And so every time somebody would say, cut your beard, I would just smile inside and go, fuck that. And so I go to estate sales. I buy stuff to sell on eBay because I don't work as a writer anymore. And so I love wearing the clothing of dead people. So that's some dead guy's jacket that I had on.
Very nice.
And I feel like I was a wise sage. This was last summer.
Yeah.
Just is it the Buddhism books that's kind of bringing you to the soul of the jacket, if you will?
I think so. That and and I got certified as a hypnotherapist, and I just love all of that stuff.
Let's see. You've mentioned this a bunch of times, and it is on the list because it was probably after seeing the catalog that might also be on a Rich Williams IMDb. I actually didn't. I wanted to look it up and didn't go there because I was fascinated enough that there was a Comedy Central.
Oh yeah.
Site. What year was that?
2005.
Okay. Again, another complete different look for you.
Yeah.
I'm like, really? And I just saw him last Tuesday.
Yeah, I know.
You're
I
at
look.
the bar, but yeah. And just to give you a little bit of props, my colleague he's been having a bad year. Let's just probably bad 7 years. But anyway,
Yeah, I'm in a 10-year slump myself.
He's he's
We
in
all
the
are.
process of ending stuff. So the other end of that slump. Anyway, he's the only one in my organization that knows I even do comedy.
Uh-huh.
I have a podcast, and I had sent him your stuff. And I'm like, get a laugh. Crying
Really?
at the end of watching 2 1.5 minute bits. And it was the dead parents
Yeah.
and basically the baby arm.
Yeah.
That really just at 7:30 in the morning when he's gotten 2 hours of sleep and he's ready to cry himself back to sleep. Mike, I love you, man. Rocked it out to your stuff this morning and put a happy face where it got us through where there were certain points where I just walked by him and I just give him the T-Rex hand. and that's how I waved goodbye to him through a big plate glass window on the other side. Like I kind of gave him the head nod and then I gave him the T-Rex.
Yeah.
And he just cracked up laughing. And I'm like, you take that home, man, because going home's not. He would rather work 27 hours.
Yeah.
Go home.
Well, that's the thing. When I was doing comedy, I used to look a lot like Bill Clinton. I would impersonate him, and people were saying, "Oh, you should just do Clinton." This is when he
You have a good
first was.
Bill.
Oh, I did it back in the day. People would say, "Just do Clinton," and I'm like, "No, I want to be a real comic." So I would use that to get booked and close with that. But I wanted to develop an act, and so when I started doing the baby arm bit, and also the thing about I'm an orphan, everybody in my immediate family has died. Most of them when I was very young. It was so hard to get that to work. And people were like, don't do that. It's too dark. But that's what I'm known for now. And it's not something somebody can steal. Like, comics are always stealing. I've had so many.
Real life.
Yeah.
I mean,
and
you can have an act. You can make an act.
yeah.
Real life is.
Yeah. And it connects with people on a different level. So that's what I mean.
Very different level.
Yeah.
There's something
Yeah.
that no person in that audience, other than a black person, possibly with a baby arm, can even relate to.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And so for anybody who hasn't seen it, you know, I don't have any brothers and sisters. My dad left before I was born. He died when I was in high school. My grandmother died when I was very young. I don't know my father's side, but his parents are dead. And my mother died when I was 8. And so when that happens, you develop a sense of humor. Like growing up, I always imagined myself alone on Family Feud. Good answer. Good answer. Survey says Zoloft. And so, like, just delving into that, I used to just do jokes, like regular setup punch, and I realized that wasn't enough for me. And so, yeah, I like to talk about dark subjects. And the weird thing is, I was the warm-up comic for Last Comic Standing for like 6 seasons, and this guy saw me at another little show, and he says, "Oh, mate, I remember you. You did this. My roommate was one of the executives from NBC. I used to push for you to be on that show. He loved you, but you were too dark." I'm like, why the fuck didn't you tell me? I have other material.
Hey, memo?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
send me
You're not a mind reader.
Yeah.
You probably got my number. You could have texted me. It's technology, motherfucker. Use it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was funny. Working on
Dark.
Last Comic Standing, I auditioned one season and I didn't get through to any level, but they had me warming up the audience before the show, doing stand-up, and in between the commercial breaks. And it's embarrassing. It's like asking a girl to marry you. She says no, then you got a DJ at her wedding.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like thinking about, like, okay, for 6 seasons, why didn't they just make him the winner?
Yeah, I did
Because-
4 hours one time of material, like when
Straight?
we were in Vegas. No, it was like in between, but there was like a 2-hour thing, and it was in Vegas, so everybody wanted to go gamble. I had to keep them there, and we started raffling off TVs. It was so people wanted to leave so badly. Yeah.
Give me a 20-inch.
While they were tallying up the votes to see who moves into the house back in those early seasons.
Wow.
Yeah, it was nuts. And I had maybe a half an hour of material. I was just pulling anything I could.
4 hours. I have a problem pulling 3.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Did you manage to get people to stay?
Oh, yeah. We locked the doors.
Very,
I'm sure that violates OSHA and fire hazard
It's like when
codes.
the shuttle blows up, you know. Lock the doors. Nobody's in. Nobody's out. It's a disaster.
Ugh.
We'll switch gears totally because this video here had me laughing as well. We gotta get some.
Bottoms up.
Well, thank you, Internet, for buffering. Very much appreciate it. We've been grinding on a lot of colored ladies.
Whoa.
What part of Schenectady are we in? The 50s?
I just don't know what color they are. It's too dark.
Yeah, I was making little promotional videos for some of the shows that I would do around here locally. So this was last summer. Because I went to Mount Pleasant first, which was like half white, half black.
Different crowd than Bahamas.
And I was like the crazy white guy that looked like I was on Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah.
So, and I can dance, so I was accepted.
I was very
Is she
impressed
holding
on
like
your
a-
ability to
like a
blend in, and
WWF
they weren't
champion?
questioning it.
Oh, yeah.
Was she holding a championship?
Yes, she is.
Yeah.
What is the deal with that? Thank you for reminding me.
I got it at a garage sale. I was wearing it around for a while.
Are you a wrestling fan?
No, I almost wrote for the WWE, but I didn't want to move to Connecticut at the time. I was forced to watch it as a kid.
Forced.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it just wasn't my
Brother?
thing.
Like, who
Dad.
forced you?
I wasn't forced.
My man-child father.
I loved Roddy Piper. We had the little wrestling action figures.
Well, I liked it to some degree. I
Yeah.
did an impression of the Macho Man Savage when I worked on when I worked on Best Damn Sports Show. He was a guest, and so I did the Randy Macho Man Savage work tape, and it was just, yeah, brother, work it out now. Yeah, slow it down. Yeah, it's just that.
I did my first Macho Man Randy Savage joke the day he died.
Ah,
It was
no.
Horse on board, snap into a tree limb. Oh yeah. I've only done it once. I do have it recorded. That's the only time live recorded I've ever done it again.
I always feel this roller coaster, like there's a hamster about to jump on me.
It is the Tolo Coaster. You can watch it live on the YouTube stream, comedypipe.com. Skype us. I don't know if I've been paying attention to the Skype at all. Probably not.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Twitter at Comedy Pipe.
Yeah. Fuck Reddit, by the way. Joe and I had a long conversation
totally
about fuck
fuck Reddit.
We're done with it.
Are you into Reddit? Do you have a Twitter?
You know what I did, but I tweeted two things. I can't get into that. I talk too much to keep it down to 140 characters.
I agree with you. I'm very frustrated in even trying to promote anything with that limited amount of characters. It's
and
not that I'm a wordy guy, but it just consonants and vowels must be next to each other to make sense.
there's always something new coming out too. I have an iPhone and I've kept getting them. I feel like I have to go to a college class to fully utilize everything on there.
Twitter's an asshole.
Yeah, so to learn Twitter on top of Facebook, like I was just starting to get MySpace down, and then Facebook. Yeah,
Yeah, people make fun of me because I have AOL.
you do. I'll join in that group. What are you doing, honey?
It was like maybe 8 months ago. Somebody said, "Give me your email address." Then I gave it to them, AOL.com, and they're like, "What?"
Yeah.
Yeah. So I like AOL. I mean, Amelia Earhart, she went missing like last weekend. That's AOL News.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
On the dial-up.
Yeah. FDR got reelected again.
So this was something that the research team picked up. President George W. Bush.
Yeah, I wrote for.
The only thing I do for President George W. Bush is I do a pretty good.
I had so many weird writing jobs when I was in LA.
That is very
For the
prominent
president?
when you look through.
Well, what happened was I would have like 3 or 4 writing jobs at a time. Like I would work on Best Damn Sports Show, period. Then I would be writing Howie Long's Tough Guys at the same time. And Best Damn Sports Show was 2 hours a day, 5 days a week. So that was a full-time job. I would do Howie Long, and then I was a ghostwriter for a screenwriter. And I would name characters after guys I was in a fraternity with at Potsdam so that people would know I wasn't bullshitting. And then I would do stand-up and try to, and then I would try to write my own scripts at night. And so one of the gigs I got was writing for Yakov Smirnoff for Bush's first inaugural ball. He did stand-up at it. And this is when, what the country?
Awesome.
The Russian comic. And this is when Gore and Bush, it wasn't decided for a long time. So the joke was, your country, it takes 3 months to find out who the president is. We find out 3 months before we vote.
Nice.
So
It's funny because it's true.
yeah, so I wrote for him. I wrote for Jeff Dunham, Larry the Cable Guy, all kinds of crazy people. It's just bizarre
Is it
because
frustrating not getting the credit?
no, because
He just said it.
I tell everybody. With my career, once I got into writing, there's such a joy in seeing other people perform the material. Unless they fuck it up like Tom Arnold used to. He would literally read the jokes and still stutter. But because I focus on writing, I didn't pursue stand-up as much. And I'm not good at self-promotion. Like I was always one of these, I should be humble. You grow up with that mindset, especially around here. in the Capital District, like, just work hard and, don't brag.
Survive.
Yeah, that's why I don't have a Twitter. That's why I don't have a website for my comedy. None of that stuff.
Was there an actual website of advanced? I had it written down.
Yeah, I have to renew that for advanced advantage hypnosis.
It up. Yeah, that's advantage hypnosis.
Have you practiced a lot of hypnosis? How did you get into that?
Well, this is what happened. So I was ghostwriting for a very well-known screenwriter. She's had a couple big movies made, and I could always write her stuff because I had to. When I was writing my own screenplays, I'd get to page 48. I don't know why it was that page, but 3 different scripts, and I would stop. I'd get stuck, and I have another great idea, so I'd start that. It was a way of not doing anything. This is about 15 years ago, and I would sleep to avoid doing any of my own work. So I went and saw a hypnotherapist, and in one session, I got up at 6:30 every morning and wrote 5 pages of my own screenplay till I was done. And I was like, how the fuck does this work? Because I'm very logical. And
I'm with you, man. I don't buy into a lot of bullshit.
Yeah. And so I looked into it more, and then I finally sold a movie to Tim Allen, and he sold it to Disney. He was supposed to star in it. They'll probably never make it. But I made enough money. I got in the Writers Guild, and I took a year off, and I went through a year-long certification program at the first nationally accredited hypnotherapy school, which I refer to as clown college, because people don't take it seriously unless they know about it. And
when college was thrown on the end of it, like it wasn't like a course,
right?
It was a college, and I went, that means something.
Yeah, I had a Pell Grant, like a student loan.
So
Sally Mae calls
okay.
my ass.
So
Yeah,
it's like when I went to massage school.
Yeah.
right,
No
exactly.
more deferment. Pay
Yeah.
your shit, bitch.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, there's funding for all that.
And
Okay.
so I learned all about it. It totally works. It's not bullshit. It's just the way our minds work. You get into a relaxed state. Your mind can't tell the difference between something that's real and something that's vividly imagined. That's why dreams seem so real. That's why, you wake up and you want to smack somebody.
Right.
And so I started doing that on the side when I was in LA. And I actually did it with a friend of mine, Sean Young, who was in Ace Ventura, Blade Runner, Wall Street. She let me record the session, and then she went on Letterman and talked about it. And I wrote and directed a little sketch that then aired on Letterman with her on that. And it totally works. Like, I haven't drank Diet Coke in 5 years. I used to drink a gallon a day.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that is an interesting thing to be hypnotized against. But yeah, drinking a gallon is quite
That's a lot of aspartame.
Yeah. Well, I didn't realize how much.
That shit sucks.
Yeah. Well, I was used to the taste, but it was, yeah. But it's not just used to like quit smoking or anything like that. Like, I've helped people change their own lives. That's what I'm really passionate about, in addition to comedy. People who we just carry around this bullshit in our heads. The inner voice that we call it our intuition, where, all right, don't walk down this street because it's dangerous. And then you find out the next day there was a stabbing down there. And you're like, oh, thank God I trusted my gut instinct. And then there's that other negative inner critic, that voice where it's like, don't do the podcast. Nobody's going to listen. Just put it off. Why try? We view that as a negative voice. It's the same voice. The two are the same. It's just your subconscious wants to keep you exactly where you are, because the biggest fear is the fear of the unknown. So we like it sometimes, we don't like it at other times. It's just a lot of times the fears are based on obsolete information. Like if you were bitten by a dog when you were 5 and it was a Chihuahua, you might develop a fear of dogs throughout your whole life. You don't have to be afraid of a Chihuahua now at your age and your size, but we still hold that shit in there.
I'm glad I was bitten by multiple dogs.
Were you?
Different young ages, between 5 and 10. Not severely, but enough to leave significant marks and blood. And now I kick dogs.
Yeah. See, so
no, not at all. I'm really not a dog. I love dogs. I owned multiple pit bulls.
uh-huh.
I had to get rid of multiple pit bulls.
Yeah.
At the end of it. Not because I wanted to, because of life choices, life happenstance.
Gambling debts?
No, not really. Shitty,
Gambling.
Pause, Joey.
shitty
Pause.
roommates. Had to go to a place where I couldn't have a dog. Stuff.
Right.
Ended up with a cat. You know, it was things. But no, I don't have any remorse against those dogs, especially because most dogs that like attack or something, you're usually told beforehand, don't fuck with that dog.
Right.
And your brain makes you fuck with that
won't.
dog.
No, this dog will
And
like
you're not,
me.
yeah,
and
there's
chomp.
something as a
Right.
child, and I'm going through it right now with an almost 2-year-old that is subconscious. There's something in the brain of children, and it stays in the brains of adults that is the anti. And what you are told, you just do. When I tell my kid stop, my kid is getting very better as I'm saying this. But he will stop, turn around, look me dead in the eye, giggle, turn back and run. And
Yeah.
I'm like, you motherfucker.
Yeah.
Why is your brain telling you to do this? This is not something learned or taught. This
Well,
is at that subconscious level.
Well, I
you
think
just
that's
gotta-
innate. It's testing the boundaries. It's like the velociraptors in Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
They keep testing for weaknesses. So the kids test parents, what are the boundaries? And then they'll try to go over. And if you let them go over it, they'll make a new boundary and go over that. And so, yeah, it's interesting human nature.
So these boundaries are, what would you say, are carried out to, you know, I definitely can say I am conflicted by boundaries in my life. And I look at my kid and I'm like, yeah, I'll do the same fucking thing.
Yeah. Well, we form these beliefs that are sometimes put into our minds through our parents or things that we pick up on TV or whatever. And if they're strong enough when we're a kid, we just keep it our whole life until something major changes to change that belief. Otherwise, we just think that it's true. We don't realize that it's just bullshit. Like, why am I not the Queen of England?
Like somebody keeps walking around mouthing off, and then one day somebody pops them.
Right. But,
Hey, I was trying to
but,
be in a thick there.
but why am I not the Queen of England?
There's
Because
a
you're not.
myriad of reasons.
Yeah.
There's a lot of reasons.
What? Name one logical one.
Because
You're
there
not
already is
Well,
one.
yeah, the most logical is you're not female.
Okay.
There already
There's
is
a-
one.
Your name isn't Elizabeth.
Okay. And so why is she the Queen of England?
She's a twat.
Because of hierarchy and history of what that family is.
She got birthed right.
Right. That's all bullshit. It was all based on God anointed this family to
Yeah.
be
Oh, yeah,
the monarchs,
The initial is
Oh,
bullshit.
right.
Yeah.
But everybody still agrees with that bullshit that
It's fascinating.
she believes it. Enough of people agree with it. So she gets to live in a castle and all that. Why do none of us believe that we're royalty? We all could think that. She's believing bullshit. We're all going along with it. Think about all the bullshit we believe about ourselves. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart
Well,
enough.
Teresa's chosen.
You fucking Jew.
Oh, I was just thinking about that too. I'm like, well, why did people listen to Hitler? Why did 6 million people die as a result? It's like they were robots.
Right.
Is it 6?
Because he had a big check.
But I'm curious that what prompted all of those people to follow his suit and commit those horrible
Fear?
acts? Fear.
A lot of-
dog is fear.
A lot of times
Where the
it's
fear spawned from is he was a Jew and it was a hypocritical.
Well, he's not the only, psychotic leader of a lot of people.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, you know.
You
Well, yeah. Look at
disagree, you
Putin.
die. Look at Korea. There's no-
Oh,
No,
yeah.
Yeah.
bad
Yeah,
dudes.
it's crazy. But going back to the money. So what about test tube babies?
yeah. Well,
Squirt girls here.
yeah. So I don't do any like stage hypnosis, like where people quack like a duck, but I found that it's helped me in what I talk about with comedy, talking about people's belief systems and all that type of stuff. It's so much more
Is it
rewarding for me.
possible?
But the Queen of England thing is a good point, though. I mean, it's just an accident of birth.
Yeah.
You know, and it is interesting that a lot of people do. They fall in. It's like,
I mean, you can throw the entire
a person.
Judaism and Christianity
And it's the same thing like the
Buddhism,
Middle East,
you know,
there's
all
all these-
under all or any religion. Now that I'm thinking about it, under that umbrella, why is it there?
mass hypnosis.
Because
We
it
believe
was
this person
mass
is anointed.
hypnosis,
right?
Maybe that is that what we were trying to say.
Yeah,
I'm not a big, I'm
Well,
not a
this
big
is-
religious guy. I'm a very logical guy. Looking at everything in religion is one of those things. When you look back through history, there is always something that binds one community to some entity, and usually, when you really look down to it, it's some level of fear.
I can't believe the queen. Eventually, the queen goes, "I can't believe I still have them."
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, I'll give you a good example. It's just our beliefs about something. That's just one example. Why is the queen the queen? Vince Vaughn. I used to idolize Vince Vaughn, seeing him in the movie Swingers. I moved to LA. I meet Vince Vaughn. He's got a roommate. My friend is his roommate. That completely changed how I viewed Vince Vaughn. I'm like, this is a movie star. Why does he need a fucking roommate? And it's just whatever your beliefs are, realizing that they're just beliefs, they're not
Was
facts.
it because he had a little pinky?
No.
Chris O'Donnell fired me. Scent of a Woman. I was an extra in that, and toward the end of it, I offended him.
Really?
But yeah, I did.
Uh,
yeah, and he came up on the set. That's him, and some guy walked over and was like, "Your thing, and there you go."
Yeah.
And I was out. He fired.
Yeah.
Robin's a douchebag.
You were squirting now. You were squirting.
I did kind of insult him a little bit. I didn't know who he was.
Well, they're real people.
I was.
Yeah.
They're just like everybody else around us.
We're all real people.
So, what is it that drew you when we talk about this? What drew you to Buddhism?
It's not a religion. The way I view it, it just makes sense for me. Like I was raised Catholic, then Southern Baptist, then Protestant. I moved around a lot. And a lot of it just doesn't logically make sense to me. So I don't believe in that stuff. I think that it's metaphorical and that it can be beneficial for people. So I'm an atheist, but here's the difference with a lot of people who are atheists. I know that I could be wrong. And that would be horribly embarrassing if I am wrong, standing in front of God, and he's like, you're my son, and I created you, but you didn't believe in me, so now I have to send you to hell to burn for eternity. Because then I'll be like, I kind of believe in you now, you know.
Yeah.
But the whole thing is, I realize that it's just a belief I have, that stuff isn't logical to me.
I blame God. I'd be like, "You made me like this, motherfucker."
See, I went through the
Come on in,
whole, Sunday school, baptized, communion, confirmed. I went through the whole nines. And then thinking, just, I don't know, probably smoking a joint or something one day, it dawned on me that in the concept that you had just laid out of standing in front of my creator going, yeah, my bad.
Right.
Essentially is what's going on there. The one argument to that of the disbelief was that's exactly what the devil wants you to think.
Yeah, but does that make any fucking sense? Here's the thing.
It does make sense if it goes that deep, but then my logical brain goes, yo, it don't go that deep.
Here's the thing. Jeffrey Dahmer, who we all know, he confessed to his crimes. After his trial, his father sat through the whole trial, heard all of the gruesome evidence, asked the judge if he could have 10 minutes alone with his son. The judge granted it. He talked to his son, hugged him, said, I love you. It'll be okay. If Jeffrey Dahmer's father could be more forgiving than the way Christianity sets God up to be, that doesn't make any fucking sense to me.
Yeah, no,
However, I might be wrong.
that's how God wanted it.
Well, but
That's
here's
the
he
excuse
makes
for
a good
everything.
point.
No
He
matter
makes a
what
good point.
happens,
I
people
understand
blow up and die. That's how
No, I
God
understand
wanted
his
it.
point,
I'm
but-
like,
But wait, let me.
no.
I want to. So I studied craniosacral therapy, and we studied the brain. There was a Harvard professor from the medical school who studied strokes, and she knew the brain inside and out. And she eventually had a stroke herself, and she caught the signs and symptoms early enough. She was in a coma for 8 years, and she came out of it eventually. And she wrote a book and does
Stroke of
speaking about
genius.
called I
Yes.
Heard Y'all the entire time.
And what her theory was, she lived in her right brain, which is the brain that thinks. That's like your higher power.
Mhm.
The left brain is very logical. It was completely dead and cut off. So she lived there, and she talked about experiencing nirvana and peace through her right brain.
I understand what Rich is saying though. Like the people like really religious, they know, and that's disturbing. They there's no unknown to them. Like this guy Duggar guy, I'm already forgiven. No,
Yeah.
not exactly. There's no learning curve. There's no adjustment. There's no evolving of intelligence.
Because we don't have the capacity to live in our right brain enough.
No, what's this we shit?
And
I'm talking
think-
about religious people. Don't fucking no we here.
Well, I'm saying the global way, because there's all different
Not
kinds of
even globally.
religions.
Them. I'm gonna say them, not globally.
Yeah, I don't have anything against religion. For some people, it totally works.
But like
And-
what you're saying, you can admit you like I might be wrong.
Yeah.
That was the words I was trying to get. I might be wrong. They will never say, I'm not sure. I might be wrong. You'll never hear that from George Bush.
Right. Although Mother Teresa did have a long phase where she was questioning and all that. And for me, again, it just comes down to beliefs. What works for me, what doesn't work for me. I don't believe in good and bad.
In her doubts, in her time of doubt, she kept with her ministry and doing her good work.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's faith. That's belief. Like I doubt God, but these people still you continue that ministry.
Right.
Yes.
And
You
it
don't-
gave
you
her
don't
life
have that- You don't
purpose.
have that born again ministry and then invade a country on a lot.
Right. Right. Yeah.
You continue doing your good.
Yeah. Yeah. I just believe in being a good person. I try to help people. I'm also codependent. So that's, so I help people a little too much and can never get out of relationships. But yeah, I try to be a good person, not because there's somebody watching over me, just because that's how I'm designed
It
to.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
it
with you.
works.
There's sometimes I'm an asshole, and most of the times it's deserved. But other than that, I got nothing, man.
Like,
Like, there's
faith and
nothing to
trust.
be pissed off at. Rock out. Let's just.
I forget.
We got to work.
Yeah.
forget who
Great.
said
Let's
it,
try
but-
not to be an asshole with each other and just get the job done.
Yeah.
It's much better for everybody.
I forget who said it was some comic, and he said, faith and trust, you can measure it like this, kind of. Like you hold the doors open for people. Like I do that.
I do it all
and
the time.
I
All
see
the
this
time.
all the time. They'll walk through. You have the door for them. They'll still put their hand on it.
Mhm.
Like you're gonna let it.
Yeah.
Right.
That's how we evolved.
Sucker, I don't get people like stewards like that.
Everything's a trick.
Yes.
I do it all the time for people at work, and they look at me like it's weird. Like I'll see them coming from a mile away, not really that far,
And they'll
but from
say-
enough distance that I am closer to the door. Therefore, I'm grabbing it first. And if I don't, I'm just gonna walk into them. That's the simplest logic to being nice. Is there's no point to this. You're just gonna get confused. We both can't fit through the door. I'm just gonna open up for you.
Yeah.
It's simple. It's not costing me any more energy.
I think it's called
Then-
fucking manners.
It's a little bit of manners, and it's a little bit of common sense. It's just like,
Right.
like, don't be stupid.
Yeah.
But people still look at me and go, "Thank you."
Yeah.
And
It's
I-
rare.
Yeah, it's something that I don't find to be a big deal. I think somebody should be opening the door for me every time I walk into a fucking
It's
Walmart.
weird, 'cause, like,
You
when I
know,
hold
it's
the door-
Because you're the queen.
Because I'm the damn queen.
Yeah.
man.
The emperor
Damn
has
queen.
no
I was saying,
clothes.
are we still talking about Jeffrey Dahmer? Because I did have to make a pit stop in the bathroom. My eyes were turning yellow. But I had this video queued up because this is not something you see every day, and I hope this works because it was worth.
How do you wish plead to the second count of murder in the second? Yes,
Guilty.
voluntarily.
Yes,
Doing so because you are guilty.
yes,
All
sir.
right.
The reason I killed him was because he was a child molester.
You did in fact kill him,
Oh, sure.
and you intended to kill him.
Oh, sure, yes. I'll tell you where it started.
Go ahead.
All right, well, he was my bunkie, and I had found out that he was in prison for child molestation, a really bad case. So that night he was trying to justify why he did it, and I just told him to be quiet, and he would have to leave in the morning to find a new cell. But he continued to talk about it and try to justify it. So he was a little bit bigger than me, so I got down and I hit him in his face a few times, and when he fell, I wrapped a cord around his neck and I took his life.
That's real deal shit right there. That's, you know, Jeffrey Dahmer confessing and his father still forgiving. This guy was already in jail. You got a guy that's spitting some shit that is just wrong, and you know he's not lying.
Yeah.
Who the fuck was that? The guy that killed Jeffrey Dahmer?
No,
just
that's
the guy that killed some other child molester.
not an other child. That guy wasn't a child molester.
No, he wasn't a child molester.
He
killed
found it so
Killed the
ridiculous.
child
in jail.
molester.
It didn't
Right.
say, it didn't say why that guy was in jail.
Right. Yeah.
He was touting, you know, justification on why he did something to a child, apparently a very bad case according to the guy, and was like, fuck it, I'm already in here. What are they going to do? Put me in here more?
John Wayne Gacy said that. What are they going to do? Kill me again?
Yeah.
So, Comedypipe.
Wow.
This is where we're going.
Who wants to go vandalize a cemetery after the show?
It's great to hear.
Squirt Girl will show up.
Yeah,
Gonna dig up some Native American bones, piss on them, and bury them upside down.
We're going to switch happy. Molly's still doing good?
Molly is great. Thank God.
Awesome.
When I used to go to this dog park every day with
Molly's the dog, if you haven't caught
yeah,
up on the,
I have 3 dogs, and Molly's my oldest, and she has these crazy blue eyes, and she's healthy. I thought that she was dying, and I couldn't take that right now, going through a breakup on top of it. And when I was at the dog park in LA, this old Irish woman comes up. She goes, "Oh, she's got eyes that could melt a hooker's heart." I'm like, well, I better get her out of Los Angeles then.
Yeah.
I don't want that. I don't want blood on my hands.
And she was Irish?
The woman was, yeah.
Those are sound like some eyes.
There are lots of Irish, lads from Ireland and LA.
Yeah.
There'd be a lot to say that. Too.
Yeah.
Mumble through that. Thanks for noticing. How's your taint, by the way?
My taint?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So you saw the taint cancer video?
No, it didn't go any further than Susie in 2008 asking how's your taint.
Somebody asked me how my taint was?
Yep, in 2008.
Taint bad.
Taint bad? Off the list. Just wanted to make sure.
Puntang.
You got that on the way. Molly's good.
I feel like I'm in a doctor's office.
I know, check.
All right, that's good. Check.
Molly Long, best damn
how's your-
show? Okay, here was a question that I was really hoping would come to fruition if a certain Jefferson fucking showed up. Are you able to hypnotize someone without them knowing?
Yes.
Yeah, he already did it to me. Yeah, I'm on to it.
What did I do?
I'm not looking at him. Right now is when he's going to do the thing.
Looking in your devil blue eyes.
He's like a siren in the sea.
I see your stopwatch.
I've been
Get the
tricked
fuck
into
away.
sucking a dick before. I didn't have
Yeah, tricked. No, see, everybody thinks, not everybody, a lot of people think that hypnosis is this big, nefarious voodoo, witchcraft, mind control. It's not. We hypnotize each other all the time. It's just suggesting something. You give somebody a suggestion. If they do it, they're hypnotized. When you're driving,
Like walking like a chicken and shit.
that stuff, it's real and it's not real. When people go on stage, it's probably their like audience members. It's their first time on stage. They're under tremendous pressure. There's all these people in the audience, so they're already looking to escape. That's what hypnosis is.
very
You
susceptible to
escape.
suggestion.
Yes. Yeah, and they find people that are called somnambulists that are easily hypnotizable. And there's also the fact
Show or during show?
they do
Big
it
difference.
during the show. They do the test. It's kind of pre-show
Watch the
during the
reaction,
show.
you know,
Yeah, exactly.
You're
And
pointing the girl out.
also, they get to be the star of the show and say at the end, "I don't remember anything. I was hypnotized." It's like when you go out with your buddy and he acts like an asshole because he's drunk, and he goes, "Yeah, I was really drunk last night. I don't remember anything." I was hypnotized. But
That's what I'm going to start
That's a
saying.
great excuse. I didn't think
Right.
about that.
I'm going to get pulled over to the
I'm too
cops.
honest when I'm being
No,
an asshole.
officer, I'm hypnotized.
So think about it like this. Have you ever been at work and somebody says to you, "Hey, are you all right? You look sick." And then you start looking in the mirror and you're like, "Oh my God, am I feeling all right?" You start,
That
yeah.
happens to Risa all the time.
Like-
Like, hey, did you feel that lump on the side of your boob? And she freaks the fuck out.
I'm a big
Right.
hypochondriac. Like everything is the worst case scenario.
So when somebody says, "Hey, you look sick," and you start feeling sick and you're checking yourself in the mirror, you're taking a suggestion. That's
She'll-
hypnosis.
She'll text people to get a second opinion. Like text a picture to somebody and be like, "Do I look sexy?"
Does this
Like
boob
it
look
will.
lumpy?
It's a real. Yeah, it's a real.
Right.
It's like
real word,
yeah,
exactly.
it's
Right.
It
So
sets off that worry.
it's just a suggestion. That's all hypnosis is a suggestion. You can't hypnotize somebody to do something
So,
they don't want to
You
do.
might want to stop smoking.
I consciously don't want to quit smoking. That's why I can't hypnotize
I
myself
wasn't
to
saying
stop.
you. I was just saying in a generality, telling someone who's in for hypnosis, you might want to quit smoking.
Yeah, it has to be a little bit more in depth than that. But
It's
yeah,
one of those-
yeah,
they hear that all the
I'm not
time.
a very subjective person, so that's like,
yeah. But
you
but
might
it-
want to do that.
The worst hypnotist ever.
You're gonna die.
You might want to quit smoking
So-
next.
Exactly.
So and you've successfully hypnotized yourself.
oh yeah, bunch of stuff. And when I do it in my private practice, I tell people if you don't think that it worked, I'll give you your money back in 7 days. You have 7 days to decide whether or not it worked. I'll give you your money back.
While
I-
they're hypnotized, he changes the price.
Because I want people to embrace it. It really works.
It does
But-
sound cool. Like I've heard people like a friend of mine that I did logging with. He smoked 5 packs a day. He went to one of those seminars, and it was he stopped.
Yeah,
And it was 12 years ago.
yeah. But here's the thing that
He was ready. He was sick of it. He was ready.
well, not only that, but if it can get people to quit smoking, because that's what it's normally associated with, that or weight loss. Think about how hard it is.
Yeah.
Think about how hard it is to quit smoking. If it'll work for that, people don't naturally jump to the conclusion that, oh my God, it could change anything in my life. I don't deal with any medical stuff.
Let's remove the will to cause harm to others.
Well, it's
Big broad.
well, yeah. If somebody comes in and they have stage fright, they're afraid to do stand up, or they're afraid to open up a sub shop, or whatever it is in their life that they really want to do, but their subconscious is keeping them exactly where they are, and they find excuses not to do it. I do hypnosis for them, and they do the thing that they want to do because their mind believes that that's already
You
happening.
have no control if they succeed or fail, but they go ahead and try.
But yeah, at least they
Yeah.
try.
I wonder if you can
That's-
hypnotize
That's for me the
Teresa.
fear.
To be able to pull it in
Right.
the parking spot.
See, you heard that as they might still possibly fail, as
Yeah.
opposed to, wow, they took a step towards their dream. You have fear for people that you don't even
Because
know.
I'm too logical to like. Before I do a lot of things, I go through and examine to the nines. But there are a lot of things that I don't have a lot of risk involved in.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm like, okay, yeah, this is easy. You know, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And you know, like in IT, that's half my job. You know, in troubleshooting. So
Absolutely.
there's risk and reward, and there's always a reward when yes, something I think that's going to be off the wall actually fixes the problem. But at the end of the day, I really don't give a fuck.
But
I'm just
but
getting paid to do a job.
yeah, but I'm talking about life in general and our beliefs. The reason why I was successful, look at my background. I grew up in Schenectady, orphan at a very young age, moved from family member to family member. Didn't
No
know
baby arm, though.
didn't know a single person in LA, and yet somehow I was so successful that I was nominated for 2 Emmys. I've been on TV over 100 times. The only reason why that happened is I believed both consciously and subconsciously that it was going to happen.
The power of intention.
Right, but on a subconscious level. It's not
Borders covered.
it's not a wishing
The
well.
one thing that
Will it kind of
when
will
the
it
research team was going through looking at everything that was there was one word that kept coming to mind was motivation. I'm like, this guy has gone from gig to gig to gig to gig. How does one have that drive? I don't, especially after having a child. There's no drive for that. And in my mind, I went, was that a conscious decision that once moved to LA, that was just everybody's mentality? Not media. Was that just like everybody's there to try to
they're like
succeed? So that's what's good.
Physical
what you
relocation
do,
and like
and you
relocation.
succeed or fail.
No, I had a job. I worked in the computer industry. I was a headhunter. I used to hire people and then contract them out. I made $70,000 my second year in '94, and I quit
Jeez.
so I can go do the road. It's because I'm telling you, honest to God, that I don't believe in. I simply knew with every part of me that I would be successful. I didn't have a leg up. I had disadvantages. I just knew that it would happen. How did this podcast start? I would say that it's the same thing. You knew that this would be created. You know how many comics want to do a podcast? They never do it. You knew that this would happen.
I've been doing this for over 8 years.
Right. So, but before you started, you had never done it before.
Sure.
So how did you do it?
I just did. You know, it was one of those things that I got involved with friends that were doing it. And these weren't, when I say friends, local, these were international folks that we all kind of conglomerated and found each other.
Right.
And I listened to their shows for many years, you know, in the birth of the internet and all that stuff. Before I even did anything.
It's
I was
pronounced
just
Burf. You're in Schenectady.
Yeah. And then things kind of got disbanded and then put back together. And I went, let's do this. You know, I was a background guy in a show, and that went bad.
Right.
And then there was time off, and then going to a different network and starting off my own was kind of the catalyst to keep going. And we did that for a couple years, and then life happened. We all had kids and got married, and this has been you know, almost 2 years now doing this show, and it's all spawned from me 5 years ago, seeing a high school friend. You know, we're going back local. His girlfriend, who I obviously also went to high school with, going, "Hey, come out see this guy at this bar tonight. Do stand-up comedy." And I went, "No fucking way! I haven't seen him in 15 years.
Yeah,
I'm going." And had already been doing Comedypipe and offered it to them to try to promote comedy in the local area, and been doing it for, you know, 5 years since. But the motivation for me was not to do it or not to do it. It was always to try to help the local comedian when I wasn't even doing comedy yet.
Right. But so let me break down what I've heard, and you tell me if I'm accurate or not. When you first started, this is before podcasts were even a thing, really.
Yeah. No, it was, we were doing live shows,
right?
But no, the word podcast definitely wasn't.
So you happened into that world through other connections, right?
I was going through Shoutcast and found a radio show and just happened to be listening to it. And he said Latham. I'm from Latham.
Right.
And went to the contact info and went, "Yo, I'm in Albany."
Right.
Met him, ended up on the show.
Gotcha.
So there was my catalyst.
Okay. So at some point you believed you could do it.
I believed I wanted to check it out. Not that I could or couldn't.
But when you actually started doing it, you believed that it's possible for you to do it.
Sure. Yeah, I was there.
Right. And then there were ups and downs where you didn't do it for a while, and you could have had doubts. Can I still do this? Whatever.
Still do.
But you're still doing it because I think, yeah, everybody has conscious doubts and all that. But I would guess that you've believed since you started doing this that you could do this. You just knew it.
I beat myself up on doing a better job, but I still do it.
Right, because you believe it's a made up belief. My belief that I could be successful in LA is just as much bullshit as my example of the queen being the queen.
So what happened?
I just believed that it would work, and it did. No matter what, I just always knew that it would.
And now you're in Schenectady.
Right.
So is that belief still there?
Absolutely.
Are you on a sabbatical?
No, the reason
or relocation for
health reasons. What happened was I got the flu, and it took out all the balance cells in my left ear.
That's lovely.
And I have something called Malda de Barkman syndrome. So I have a balance. Thank you. I have a balance disorder, which I went to literally 30 doctors. I counted them. And I finally found the last ones that if you look up on Wikipedia, the issue that I have, they're the two references. And it's usually what people get when they go on a cruise ship. They come off the boat. They feel like they're still on the boat.
Right.
So I'm dizzy 24/7. I still do without the medication, have seizure-like symptoms as I'm falling asleep. I used to have to sleep underneath my desk when I was working on shows, or sleep in the next bus when I worked for MTV when this first happened. And it got to be too much. So I knew I could move to Schenectady, my hometown, and buy a mansion for $13. One of the jokes I do. And so now I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with my life, but I'm doing comedy just to keep myself sane now. But yeah, like I achieved almost everything I ever wanted to do, but I'm only 44 years old, and it's like, what do I want to do now? So being back here is bizarre to me, but this is where I'm from.
Being in this home.
Yeah.
Visit home to the country.
This place
Right.
when I was a kid.
Yeah. Well,
When did you leave here?
99, I officially moved to LA. So I was there for 13 years. I was on the road for about 3 years prior to that. And so being back here, it's hard to adjust socially because I don't drink. I used to drink. I can't do that anymore. And a lot of the social things are kind of involving being at bars and that stuff. I asked my friend, I said, hey, I'm 44. Where do people my age go to at night around here? He's like, to bed, motherfucker, you're old. So comedy has been my release. That's been my saving grace. But yeah, I'm trying to figure out what the fuck I want to be when I grow up.
In the Electric City.
Yeah.
Well, Rich Williams be in the Electric City.
Yeah. So I have stability now. I bought a house, and I have 3 great dogs, and I have a lot of different things that I'm interested in. I just got to focus now. But I want to get my health to as good as it can be, but there's no cure for what I have.
No.
And I've had it for 8 years now.
My wife has big problems on cruise ships. We found that out the hard way on a 7-day cruise. Not fun for her. I went out and partied my ass off.
Yeah.
Went to the comedy clubs and partied with the comedians until 4 a.m. and stumbled my ass home. Yeah. So she doesn't go on cruise ships anymore. But for me, seeing her pain and the discomfort,
Maldebarkment.
Yeah, there was a
Or
double,
disembarkment syndrome.
there was a double D in there. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Nope, I'm never gonna get that again. A double D, maldebarkment thing. No, that just sounds like you're stuttering.
So whatever your wife experienced, I have probably a lower level of that every single day, 24/7.
What do you do to treat that?
I take a low dose of Klonopin, which kind of lowers my central nervous system, because one ear, the left ear that's damaged, thinks that I'm driving in a car. The properly working one thinks that I'm just sitting here. So my brain is trying to differentiate between the two. And I had to have an MRI. They thought I had a brain tumor. They thought that's what was causing all of this.
I went and had one to make sure I didn't have a brain tumor as well last year. Yeah.
It's horrifying. It's terrifying. And so I get the MRI. It takes 2 weeks to get the results. I call to get the results. I'm already having panic attacks over it. That I have a brain tumor. I'm gonna die.
2 weeks, you poor soul. I got mine as soon as I got home because they gave me the disc and I looked at that motherfucker.
Well, this was a while back, so it took a little while longer. It was like 8 years ago.
Oh yeah, technology. It's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, so I called to get my results. They put me on hold, and there was hold music, and the music was freak out.
Oh my God.
And I just started laughing. I'm like, oh my God. And it turned out to be not a brain tumor. It's this other thing, but
The irony and all that.
yeah, I'm like,
Holy shit.
fucking Obamacare.
Are you on Obamacare?
No, just kidding. I love how Obamacare is blamed for everything.
It should be. It really has fucked everything.
Wow.
That's a different discussion.
Let's go back to serial killers.
Yeah.
Before we
No,
start talking
we
that shit.
can bring them together. We can call Teresa's dad and get his opinions on serial killers and Obamacare.
Oh, yeah. It'll be a riveting show.
Yeah.
For sure.
We'll save that.
Just listen to
All right.
Hannity. Save yourself the
So quick, Gary Busey.
Gary Busey. I had these fake teeth. I used to do a Gary Busey impression on stage. And so remember Celebrity Boxing when that came out for a little while?
Paula Jones. Fucking
Yeah.
Tanya Harding. What the hell was she thinking?
Right. Well, yeah, it's a stunt. So this was on Best Damn Sports Show. I wrote a sketch. We used to do sketches every day, like Saturday Night Live for sports. I wrote celebrity wrestling. Tonight, Gary Busey wrestles with his inner demons. So it was me and Gary Busey, and I was offering him a bag of Coke, a drink, and a ride on a motorcycle. And then,
First entertainment is make sure I don't sound like Gary Busey when I say my own fucking name.
Yeah, he was
Gary Busey.
he was partially nuts and partially acting nuts to get whatever he wanted.
Mm-hmm.
He was kind of a genius at the time.
Very much so. And
Yeah.
he's still rocking
My son-
that mentality today.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, why would you give that up?
He's
Yeah.
still
Son was in
alive?
Contact. Horrible.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah,
thought
he's
he
a
was
guest
all
on
like,
Celebrity Rehab from time to time. At least I think
well,
he
that's.
used to
I
be.
thought
don't
he
know if
might
that-
have died of drugs or booze or something.
A
Or
curb couldn't kill him. This dude's not going anywhere. He's the new.
he's like a
keeper.
tank.
Oh yeah, he's good.
There was one video I wanted to talk about.
He's
We can
seen
start
angels.
wrapping this
seen
up.
angels. I've seen heaven. I've seen
That's
it.
it.
Oh yeah, he's awesome.
No, we can listen to Swaggertown Road while I'm looking for it.
Oh God.
No, it wasn't that one. Damn it. What the fuck did I do with this video? There we go.
Oh yeah.
This is kind of a great story. This is a good person moment. This is one of the great good person moments that I've heard in a long time.
You're on my Facebook.
Oh, I gotta. start
Anyways,
from the
I bought out
Because-
an estate with all these photos of.
God, I look fucking crazy.
Oh, these little cherry tomato things are all wicked sweet. They're good. Thanks. What are they called?
The Capital District. And I've been going through them, and I put them in a little space on J Street to Jart, which it's awesome. You should buy stuff there. The owner, Edith, is spectacular. But this is why it's so great to do stuff like this. A couple came in to take a look, and I'm like, hey, you should come see some of the stuff. They're up from Florida, but the gentleman is from here. And what happened when you came in here? Who are you, first of all?
Jonathan Himmelreich, born and raised in this area. And I just came back here and started looking around the shelves and realized that this right here is my mother
and father.
Henry's in the area. It was here for a long, long time. Really shocked to find this picture of them sitting on the shelf back here. It was very cool.
And now it's his. No charge. Because I live a dope life and I do dope shit.
That was the greatest line out.
Well, that's from Kanye West. Yeah.
But still,
Excellent.
still a good person moment.
Yeah.
Oh, what are the chances? Like the stupid stories.
You didn't
of all the
question
shit-
him.
all
You
the
didn't
cosmos.
question him. You
Right.
didn't make him prove it.
Oh yeah. No,
Somebody
no,
comes up
no.
and tries.
That's my mom. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Who would do that?
No. Just
And
an
if
asshole.
they're crazy enough to do that, they can have the picture.
Yeah,
of
right,
you.
right, right, right.
answer-
They've earned it.
The answer doesn't change. You've convinced me.
That's-
Enjoy your picture.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
cool with it.
pretty.
I spent my whole life feeling like, God, I'm so like, this is not comedy, but it's important to me. My whole life, because everybody died and all that stuff, I had a horrible fear of abandonment. So I created my personality when I was 8 years old and my mom died, that I'm a survivor. And it totally worked. I did all these great stuff, going out to Hollywood, all that stuff, spoke at my college graduation, all that. It was to cover up my fear of abandonment. So the downside was I had to keep getting abandoned so I could keep surviving it. And so I would bring abandonment into my life, whether it was real or imagined. And when I learned this, and I figured this out, I realized that an 8-year-old boy who had just lost his grandmother and his mother had been dictating my life. And if he was that powerful then without even fucking knowing it, what could I do now? So I created myself as I'm the possibility of inspiring other people. So as soon as I just said that, people started saying that to me. Wow, this is very inspiring, stuff like that. So that's why I help local comics or do hypnosis or anything like that. It's because people go searching for themselves. I got to go find myself. I got to go to the woods. You can create yourself. I'm the Queen of England today. Or I'm going to inspire somebody, or I'm going to be happy, or whatever it is. I don't have to let something that a frightened little boy determined right after his mom died dictate who I'm going to be for the rest of my life. I'm not a comic. I'm not a hypnotherapist. I'm not a guy who went to Mount Pleasant, Mahonison. I'm whoever I choose to be. That's it.
That is
And at one
inspirational.
point, it was Ron Jeremy.
Way, I was gonna say, way too many people are going to pick Amy Winehouse. It's going to get annoying.
No, that is inspiring. That's
It is. It
powerful
really is.
stuff.
It is.
You can be anything you want to be.
The self-awareness is.
I feel somewhat brainwashed.
Thank you.
I'm not lying.
Yes.
I feel
Like I
somewhat-
really, we
Thank you.
you know we do a comedy show, but like these are things that I needed to hear today. Thank you.
I need.
Thank you.
Squirt Girl is impressed also.
She's impressed too, but so is Teresa.
Super squirt hearing.
That's
Thank you,
Well,
Jefferson.
good
Deserve
work,
it.
man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jefferson, for sending me that.
Good
Actually,
work.
Didn't show up at all. Thought he would just be late. Didn't.
He
show up at
missed
all.
like the most serious episode we've ever
Yeah,
had.
I know.
You know what? It's
Fuck
probably
you,
for the-
Donnie.
It's probably for the best.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying that.
No, I'm not saying it.
No, I know.
Suck. I'm saying because fuck him.
Yeah.
Well, it's always
Shut the
He
fuck
doesn't
up,
deserve
Donnie.
inspiration.
Yeah.
He can
It's-
just keep getting spares.
well, it's always funny. Like I've done shows with 10,000 people in them. I know how to be funny. Like I can fucking tell jokes and stuff like that. But in the end, none of that stuff matters. None of what I just said matters. It's all bullshit. We're all gonna be dead. Nobody. I talk about this on stage. Gandhi is not, somewhere out there in the universe nudging Socrates going, "Hey, do you see that? I'm in that new iMac commercial. I don't know if you saw that." So
well,
I like to be real and authentic, whether I'm being funny or talking about this stuff, whatever. And I really appreciate you guys allowing me to do that.
Hey,
are you kidding? That was
this-
Pleasure's
awesome.
all ours.
This was
That was awesome.
obviously not a direction the show was intended to go, being a comedy podcast, but levels of looking at, doing the research, what's on the
This was a
paper.
great show.
It ended up being a great show. We definitely,
Yeah.
this is one of our longer shows, and I prefaced everyone that this one probably is going to go long. And the more and more I thought about the content that I had, somewhat going in the direction I thought, but I was really hoping Jefferson would have showed up because we wanted to hypnotize him to do something, anything. Anything.
I took my pants off. I don't even have to be hypnotized. So it's party.
And you didn't even show up for that. So it's been a wild and crazy ride, this show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
You started off with one intention, and then I hypnotized you into going in a different direction.
You son of a bitch.
And I can disprove that because I have many check marks on the page.
We did
It
it a
is.
lot. We did a lot.
I know.
See, I'm one of those antis. And it's not to the point where I'm angry, but anti-religion, anti some conspiracy theories. Others I
Right.
actually do buy into.
Anti-condom,
But I'm a very
that was a
logical person.
mistake.
I mentioned I did a lot of magic.
Yeah.
I used to get out of straitjackets. We had a straitjacket
Yeah.
challenge here on the show for a while because I had a fucking straitjacket.
Right.
There's a logical side of me because I made so many people believe something false.
Right. Which
Inches from their face to the point where they were paying me money.
right.
The logic for me of hypnosis in mass quantity, and I say that because a lot of times when you go to a hypnosis show, yes, the person on stage is the key, but the audience is also a participant.
Right.
They're definitely a participant.
But I'm not talking about stage hypnosis. And part of the reason we have just met tonight, basically.
Yeah.
Part of the reason why you are so logical and really analyze all this is you're an introvert.
Yes.
And so if I were to hypnotize, how would I know that? I can just tell. The way you would
My
have,
wife would say I'm an extrovert.
right? Because I've been trained an introvert extrovert. So an extrovert's biggest fear is rejection. An introvert's biggest fear, outside of the fear of the unknown, which everybody has, I'm going to guarantee you this is your biggest fear: loss of control. I bet you're very much in control of your life.
No,
It's not.
no, fear of failure.
That's the same thing, though.
Self-confidence.
That's control.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you fail, you've lost control.
And so the analytical side of your brain, we all have the same thing. You want to know, does this actually work or not? And so you would not take a direct suggestion of close your eyes. I would say to you, allow your eyes to close, because then you're the one making the decision to close them.
Allow your pants.
Just real quickly,
Guys,
I'll
I blush.
I'll
really
tell you so
easily.
much about
You
you,
should
just real quick. I bet you can deal with physical pain better than emotional pain.
Absolutely.
I bet you speak vaguely, and your wife probably says, no, just say it. It's like you're the Riddler almost.
Sure.
You need time alone to recharge, and it's not personal, but people feel like it's a rejection. So they come forward giving you less space, and you pull away more. It's just a recharge.
That's me.
No?
No, that's it.
Yeah, you're an introvert too, probably. Look at the fucking basement you have. This is the biggest man cave in the world. I don't buy your bullshit for a second. No, I don't need time alone. You have an aviation center set up here. There's one seat. There's not two seats.
I'm building one for my kid. It's cool. I guess I don't consider that time alone. It's a hobby, and if a hobby is something you do alone, then so be it. It's something that's evolved.
None of it's wrong. I'm not saying it as a negative. I'm just saying.
I'm going to give you
yeah.
the exact derivative of why the flight simulator is in existence. My father is 67. My father flies a fucking paper clip with an engine attached to it.
That's kind.
Yeah, it's I'm exaggerating, but there is no fuselage. It's freaking square tubing, 14 inches long by an inch thick, where he slapped a chair and an engine on the front and flies, all over.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, my father was building a World War I biplane in the garage. So knowing he was a Vietnam pilot, built planes, has crashed multiple times, have been shot down and lived. There's that logical side to me that loves one thing in this world. It's called living.
Right.
And as technology was blossoming in my adolescence, the want to actually fly became less and less the more geekier I got. And now it's taking me an extremely long time to get to where I am now. But it's that fear of failing, because at that failure point, I'm going to die. And knowing my father has been shot down and crashed, helping him pick up his plane when I was woken up sleeping because I had school the next morning.
He got shot down in Schenectady?
Yeah, he got shot down. No, his landing carriage buckled in the freaking biplane.
So 3D, would you say in this environment that you have set up here, you have more control over the situation?
No, because this shit is so complex. I spend more time fixing and troubleshooting shit than I actually have.
I know, but you're not going to die.
Yeah, when he crashes, he goes and he has dinner.
Exactly. You can start all over again.
I hit the reset button, reload button. We'll try this again.
I love it. It's amazing here.
It's my dope shit. I live a dope life, and I have dope shit. There you go. There's a callback for you. I'm not good with callbacks or puns, by the way. And that's I suck my self-confidence as an all-time low. Just like my comedy made me in general, which is why I just do this show.
I have a question for you. If you were going to write your autobiography, what would you name it? What would the title be?
Well, I started writing it, and I've procrastinated because I'm afraid of failure, but also success. My subconscious wants to keep everything the same. It's called Abandoned, a story I no longer tell myself.
That's awesome.
Because we tell these stories to ourselves and we make them real. I was never abandoned. I looked at it that way for many years. My mom died. She didn't abandon me.
But as a child, that's a tough rationale to make.
Right.
Concept even.
Concept, rationale, whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
You just know they're not there anymore.
Level.
Right. But
they're gone.
But right.
When are they coming back? No, that's not leaving.
Yeah, no.
Leaving is when you might come back. Death is no.
Yeah, and my mom was also in and out of my life when I was a little kid. I have birthday cards when I was 5. She was in California. She used to hitchhike.
So she left me again.
Right. But I made it abandonment when what actually happened was she went from Schenectady to California. I made it, she left me. She abandoned me. I gave such power to that when actually all that happened and all that factually happened is she moved from Schenectady to California or she died. I made this whole other story that I was abandoned. And there's a lot of shit that goes along with that. when I realized that that was all the stuff I was bringing to it, I could let go of some of that abandonment issue
You wrote
stuff.
the script of your life.
Right. And so now I can determine it's all bullshit either way. So why not believe good bullshit? That I inspire people. That's bullshit too. But I'd rather believe that than I'm a victim.
But when it comes to fruition, it's not bullshit. When someone goes, "Thanks, man,"
Right. No,
it
absolutely.
worked.
Yeah.
That's not bullshit. So there's a level of your intent and the belief may or may not be bullshit, but when it comes to reality, there's got to be a level of satisfaction, which is like
Absolutely.
that's kind of your thrive.
Affirmation that you're
Makes
doing,
me feel
you're doing
better.
well.
Yeah.
Which is the laugh.
And you're
The
going
laugh you
out.
get on stage.
Like Creflo Dollar.
Yeah.
There is nothing like the laugh you get on stage that's real
100%.
and not forced or
Yeah.
The gut laugh.
There's
Yeah.
From your soul.
Second to that, campfire laughs.
Yeah.
Campfire laughs are awesome. They're so good.
Yeah.
So not only do you make your own dreams come true, you're inspiring other people to make their dreams come true.
I do my best. Life is so fucking short. And, coming back here, so few people I've seen and met have hope because they think that they're born in Troy or Amsterdam. That has nothing to do
those
with it.
people are fucks. Connected.
Right. But, they think that, oh, no, you have to be in a wealthy family or whatever their bullshit excuse is. You can literally do anything. Like, I would never have thought that I could have built what you built in here. I am so impressed by this. I didn't believe who would have known this was here? Most people who live around here would not think that you could create this.
Don't give the address out.
I'm not. But do you know what I mean? Like, we're only limited by what we really believe.
I
Which is-
believed I could build it.
Yes.
I never had the money, so thank God for Craigslist.
Yeah.
that was my saving grace, really.
But you probably saw this setup in your mind before you even had one piece of equipment.
I had something in my mind and knew I would never achieve it, and did, to a certain extent. There are many flaws that you don't know because you don't
Right.
know. You didn't build it.
Right.
But to me, there is.
He thought it would be a pussy magnet.
Yeah, dude. just line
But
it up.
you
Do you
knew
want to
you.
join the Mile High Club, and the bar was so awesome, and then when I found out it was a simulator.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's,
But you knew on some level you would have this.
I knew on some level I wanted it. The have for me has never been something I could rely on. The have. I want a fucking Knight Rider.
Uh-huh.
I want a DeLorean. I can almost honestly say I will never have either.
Stop saying that.
To have a simulator because of the tech background I have and because of things like Craigslist and the minimal amount of money I've spent, it became a reality.
Because you believe that could become a reality.
There's something that can be put together piece by piece over a 6-year period that is not dependent on anything else. You just kind of get a little bit there. You can't buy a little bit of a Knight Rider here
Yeah, you can.
and a little bit. No, you can't.
Yeah,
not
on eBay.
not
I've
with
done
a
it on eBay.
big
You can
yeah,
totally do it.
but not in a like they don't sell. You don't want to buy a little chunk of it, even if we're
Right.
talking about just the dashboard. Okay, let's be real. This is what we're talking about in a freaking '82 Trans Am on Knight Rider. Is the dashboard? It's very difficult to buy a piece and then get another piece because shit doesn't. This is all custom made.
I didn't say it wasn't difficult. I'm just saying that
It's-
it's possible.
See, for me, again, the logic kicks in. Is it's not a realistic goal to do it that way. If I don't have the money to just outright go, let's do this for specific things, and those are two of them in my immediate life,
Wait.
other than pay off my house and my kids' college. Those are the realistic things. This is the toys in life.
I think a good start might be a Garmin or with Kit's voice.
They do make
That
what
would
I've
be a
looked
great
at.
start, then you have
it's-
the
I don't want
voice.
to. I don't want to like overextend my stay, but this seemed like an unrealistic goal. This took you 6 years to put together.
Yeah.
For anybody else, to me, that is a completely unrealistic goal for me to ever do. So for you to think that that's an unrealistic goal, I'm telling you, you've already made something that seems impossible happen.
Now,
And it's sitting there.
can I tell you why it's an unrealistic goal?
Why?
I'm going to let you guess because there's only one reason that you can see in my eye that would prevent this from happening.
See, you're speaking vaguely, introvert.
Yes.
What do you mean this?
Yes.
Do you mean
There's
building
only
Knight
one-
Rider?
Yes. Why can it never happen?
You don't want to do it enough.
Nope.
Why?
My wife won't let me.
Ah, there you go. There you go.
That's what it really comes down to.
So
My wife will not. And there's a specific reason, which is for me the biggest bullshit of it all that drives me nuts. Why she will not let me purchase and or build this. It is too white trash. And I go, it's Knight Rider. It talks. It's
I am the voice of Night Industry.
seriously.
wait,
How is this white trash?
wait. So you could actually build that? It's just she won't let you?
Yes.
I mean,
You
Yeah.
just admitted you could do it.
I
Did you realize that? Did
there's
you
a
realize
could
that?
and will be allowed.
No.
The will be allowed is a different.
I know, but you
Could I
just
build it?
argued for
Oh.
all this time that is not a possibility.
No, the possibility, the technological piece of it, no, is absolutely.
You
I am
Go
capable.
back-
That's the difference.
go back
I am
and listen
capable.
to
Wait,
this.
I am capable.
he's losing control.
Yeah.
Go back
I'm
and
not
listen.
rational.
Go
Yeah.
back and listen to this. You said
I
it.
just got 15 years of therapy.
Go back and
Awesome.
go back and listen to this and realize all the reasons why you were giving me that you couldn't do that in 6 years. You couldn't do it piece by piece,
Yeah.
and then you just revealed at the end you totally could do it. There's a different issue,
There is an issue. Am I capable? Absolutely.
right?
Is it rational to do it the way that you have wanted me to lay out? No. Buy a DeLorean? Just buy a DeLorean? If I saved up enough money,
No,
sure.
I'm not saying.
Building kits, a different.
I'm talking
for me
about
because
bel-
I'm such a perfectionist when it comes to building that specific entity in my life.
Yeah, I'm just using these as examples. What I'm talking about is how powerful we are and our minds are. But we limit ourselves thinking that things are possible or impossible, not possible, based on our beliefs. That's it.
There's only one belief that I have right now. Two, actually. Jefferson still isn't fucking here to be hypnotized. And
Yeah.
I think we are finally coming to the conclusion of a very fantastic, very enlightful, very
Yeah.
inspiring
Oh, whoa. I love hearing that word.
It was good. It was very
136th
Powerful.
episode on January
The
3rd.
show was out
Or
of
January. I just said
control,
January.
and I
June
loved it.
3rd.
Yeah.
I was very comfortable, out of control.
Yeah.
Runaway roller coaster.
like
These
the
type shows
Tolo
don't happen
coaster.
often. They have occurred in 135 shows, and it's for me again. We had never really met. We were at the same facility
Right.
last Tuesday. I was standing up against a wall because my back was fucking killing me on those chairs. So I'm like, I just want to watch the show.
I had
Up
the
against a
worst
wall.
fucking back pain after sitting on that stool for 2 hours.
after
Oh,
that
my
night, I had the
God.
worst pain in the ass. Only one person got that. That's all that matters.
Sorry, my dick is huge.
Whoa.
No. But yeah,
Ukrainian
show.
porn? Yikes.
Rich Williams. It is
Thank
great
you,
to
Rich
have you
Williams.
That was
on the
great.
show.
Why did you both
Thank you all.
do that?
Because we're
All of
like,
a sudden, we're very
It was
last
the
minute
big-
around.
The
Yeah.
queen, the
I
queen
can't
has
believe your
graced us
shirt's
with her
still on. He's got you
presence.
all going. Oh
it's
my
the
God.
lovely Queen of England,
She's so lovely.
our queen.
Hands together.
I'm
bow,
happy she's
meow.
here. I'm happy the queen's
Now
here.
cluck like a chicken. What the
You are that queen today.
Wow.
That was great.
I got a lot of stuff crossed off this list.
Yeah,
Ah,
that's good.
my nipples are hard. I don't know why I love it.
One last time for yucks. Would you fuck me?
Yeah, I would. Fuck me so hard. That was great. I cut the crust off.
I cut the crust off. Yeah.
Yeah, I can, when I
You like some lemonade?
oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't.
You'll know. Trust me.
Yeah, yeah.
When I heard that story, I was like, oh
Yeah.
my God,
Grab a
that's-
toothpick. Here we go. He
I've been
needs
wanting
some.
to-
He needs some-
mozzarella balls. We are going to cut this. Thank you all for tuning in. We're going to go around the room. Joe Green, what do you have coming up for the next week, man?
Sharpshooters in Amsterdam. I'm going to be the middle guy. Pat the Buried Production LLC Esquire. Sharpshooters Amsterdam, New York show starts at 9 o'clock. Headlining Dave Cooperman.
It's That's the remix. Whoa.
And
Wow.
and then I'm going to be at the Horses Lounge open mic, and then on Tuesday I'm going to be at the Backstage Pub running another open mic.
Welcome to the Backstage Pub.
That will probably move to Monday due to scheduling of
Conflict.
everyone else's fucking open mic.
Yeah, it kind of happened. And,
Yeah, so I'll back off.
Yeah. Well, should have thought that one out a little bit more.
I did until everybody come to me and they were like, "Oh, I'm running one on Tuesday also." "Oh, me too." And I'm like, "All right, I'm
All
leaving."
right, Monday it is.
I just got kicked out of Tuesday.
Hey, you got to roll the punches. You know, if it's something like that, with it just
You don't have to
it is
explain
what
it to too many people. You
Yeah.
make a redhead mad, you better fucking move.
Right.
I mean that as a compliment.
I'm not a redhead.
Not.
I have a fear of being in control.
No way.
Oh, that's all I got for sound effects. Teresa, darling,
Yeah,
where are you gonna be?
I'm going to be right here next Wednesday.
Damn right. Who we got?
We have Nicholas Anthony, another
Woo!
Schenectadian,
There we go.
running some
Line them
mics,
up.
producing some
People
shows.
I don't really know, getting them on the show. It's a wonderful thing.
Thing, that's
all-
what I
like,
do.
again,
I meet them and get them on.
She meets the people. It's been great having people that I'm unable to go to the open mics, but I still try to maintain the show. These guys are awesome at keeping me in the loop.
Yeah.
And to bring, in my mind, your new blood. I've been kind of at least knowing people for at least 5 years. You being back for 3, you said?
Yeah,
in the
I
area?
just been going out again to do stand up.
It's-
I needed to kind of
It's
reset.
great to meet new people. I don't want to
Yeah.
say new blood, but meet new people.
Yeah.
Not that the old people are bad, but
He doesn't get out much.
I don't get out much. This is what I'm saying. I
I'm
don't.
busy making
I
dresses.
stay in my man cave. I try to stay in control. I take physical pain way better than emotional pain, and that one is way off the charts. I can take a punch in the face 100 times, but don't tell me my hamster died.
Yeah.
Type thing. This is 135th. It's not a milestone number,
But this is a milestone show.
milestone number. And tomorrow, as always,
It's
10
9
p.m.
short of a gross. Math humor, I love it.
Yeah, it wasn't even punny. It was just math humor. But please stay tuned tomorrow, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, WCDB 90.9, Ethan Ullman, Alternative to Sleeping. My hombre with the best comedy show. Pretty much the best comedy show. Both of us always mess that up, and I think he left like 100 flyers.
Isn't it like,
here. Pretty much best
best
comedy show.
Pretty much the best comedy show.
Yeah,
and the
I
fact
keep
that you
screwing
screw it
it
up
up.
is awesome because you advertised it like 3 times.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, Rich, you nailed it perfect. That's what does that say around the edge? I think it's because
pretty much the best comedy show
written
no ever.
around the
Pretty
circle.
much the
and
best
my brain
comedy
can't
show.
wrap around.
Pretty much
even
the
though
best
I'm a-
comedy show. Pretty much the best comedy
pretty much
show.
the
Is
best
it
comedy
Proctor's,
show.
Proctor's, Proctor's,
Yes.
Proctor's, Proctor's?
Underground. Yeah, there's like
Just
literally
follow
20 more.
follow the smell of the funny and you'll get there.
If you want to smell something else, you'll probably find Jefferson doing whatever the fuck he's doing, touching babies and stuff.
Come on,
Oh,
man. That sounded so horrible.
Yeah, he's gonna have
Come
to turn
on.
his lights off on Halloween. What are we
These are
doing to
very
this guy?
close friends of mine as well. So
Yeah,
I wish
like-
them all the well. Happy baby day, David.
Baby arm.
Baby arm day. And I'm gonna call the little shit T-Rex. That's good.
2 baby arms.
2 baby
Okay.
arm. Yeah.
To let him
Giant
up
head,
and-
tiny arms.
Yeah.
I forget what movie is that from. Do you know that reference?
No.
There's some. I want to call it like a Pixar movie, and it's of a toy dinosaur.
Toy Story.
It's. Was it Toy Story?
A T-Rex.
No, it's not. It wasn't Toy Story. It was something obscure because I know the dinosaur you're saying, and it wasn't that.
Okay.
But it was a very much oversized head, and the arms were even tinier. and it tried to like bend down to pick a ball up next to a wall and smashed its head. Couldn't reach it. And someone was like, "What just happened? Giant head, tiny arms." And that's all it was. And I just get the biggest kick out of that. So here, the,
I like that.
the baby arm, knowing someone with a baby arm, and no, they weren't black, because that I probably would have just wet myself at that point sitting in my chair at 7 o'clock.
My other favorite part in that scene is where he does the tucky for real.
Real.
That wasn't acting.
That was.
That was great. Actually, the tucky, and I've actually done. Have you ever give yourself a tucky? Don't lie.
When I was very young,
Yes.
yes.
No, of course.
All right,
Yeah, yeah.
cool. How about you, Teresa.
Nope.
Not.
Let it hang loose.
Like a couple of elephant ears in a stiff breeze, just
Oh.
flappity flap.
Oh,
Diabetes.
get your diabetic meat curtains away. Get me some catheters. Wilford Brimley comes up way too often in conversation.
I got
Like
a
we talk
scratching
about him
post
at
for my
least,
diabetes
yeah,
toes.
Yeah.
like one every other show.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. You'll hear somebody mention diabetes from like 5 cubes away, and somebody's making a Wilford Brimley impersonation. You have diabetes.
That's who I think killed BB King because he used to do those diabetes commercials, and that's competition, man.
Do you know
Yeah,
why?
now he's
Do
dead.
you know how
That's
I
what I
beat
mean.
diabetes?
Wilford
Yeah.
Brimley probably did.
I'm
it. He's
from
like,
Texas,
eat your oatmeal.
Wilford Brimley got the market on diabetes.
Here, BB King, eat your oatmeal. Wink, wink.
He did a dance. He did a dance.
Thank you all for tuning in to Pipedream on the Comedypipe Radio Network. We will all see you next week. Rich Williams, thank you again for joining
Thank
Thank
us.
you,
all.
Rich.
Appreciate it.
We're going to wrap it up.